All right. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Corey, and I'm just a guy on my lunch break. Appreciate you guys joining me once again. If you've watched a few of my videos, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button. This is a free service. It doesn't cost you anything other than that couple of seconds that it takes you to hit that subscribe button, and that really helps me out. So if you're getting something out of my videos, or if you can relate to a lot of the things I'm talking about, which I get comments like that all the time with people saying, hey, I really appreciate your channel, you and I have a very similar history, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, this, that, and the third, smash that subscribe button. Also like the video and leave a comment, and I would appreciate it. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on with that. So today I am 24 days, I think that's right, yesterday was 24 days officially off of Kratom, and kind of raised the stink yesterday on my video. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it would happen. You know, I talked about how a lot of people tune in because they can relate to what I'm saying. They are currently taking Kratom, want to come off of Kratom. I'm someone who at this point is officially off of Kratom, and so a lot of people are tuning into the channel for that, just to see how things are going for me, you know, how I'm feeling at day 24 off of Kratom. But then there's people that are probably tuning in just waiting for me to fall, waiting for me to fail, you know. And it's just like Jake Paul as a boxer, you know. I mean, obviously he's got plenty of fans out there from following him in his YouTube world, who they're fans and they like what he's doing, you know, and they are just supporting him through that. But then you have probably not as many, but almost as many people who just want to see the guy get knocked out because he's not a boxer, right? He's a YouTuber. You know, the guy's not a boxer, he's a freaking YouTuber. Which, I mean, there's no handbook in, I don't know that there's a boxing handbook that says somebody who was previously doing something else can't learn the sweet science of boxing. I mean, you know, so it's one of those things where people just tend to want to compartmentalize things. Like, wait, he's a YouTuber, he can't be a boxer. He can't be both. You have to be either a YouTuber or either a boxer. Whereas if you have somebody who was a professional boxer and then they went and tried to be a YouTuber, you wouldn't think twice about it. You're like, oh yeah, he's a YouTuber now, cool, you know. But for some reason, someone can't be a YouTuber then turn boxer. With that said, I'm not saying like Jake Paul's the best boxer in the world. I'm not saying that, but I am saying he's working really hard at it, and you know, he's getting pretty good for someone who doesn't come from a boxing background. You know, he's an athletic guy and he's training really, really hard. So, but anyway, point being, there are a lot of people that really do support him, want him to do well, and then there's just about as many people that will buy the pay-per-views and watch the trajectory of his career to see when and to be there when it in fact hits a brick wall and crumbles all around. And not to put myself on the same level of Jake Paul, I only got a little under 400 subscribers at this point, but on a smaller scale, I think there's some of that going on. You know, I think there's a lot of people who actually support me, who like what I'm doing, and who are like, you know, no matter what, whether you use this weekend coming up when you go to the UFC, so I'm going to the UFC in Boston this weekend, and I expressed that more than likely I'm probably going to use some Kratom. And, you know, there's a decent amount of people out there that are like, no, dude, don't do it. Don't do it. You know, I tried something like that one time and I went for this amount of time and didn't use, and then I decided I was going to use one time, and then the next thing you know, I ended up using again for 2 years straight. And then you got people who are like, if you just do it occasionally like that, you probably be good. Just make sure you stop using it again immediately when you come back. And I knew that was going to happen. I knew I was going to get a mixed bag. And it's one of those things where I wasn't even going to talk about it. But that's what I do on here, guys. That's what I do. I lay out my thoughts. I lay out my feelings from day to day, and I'm unapologetically me. I don't sugarcoat shit. And I've been very upfront about the very beginning of my channel that mostly what I was trying to do is use this channel as my accountability mirror to get myself to a point where I was no longer physically dependent upon Kratom. That was my biggest thing. I don't like the idea of I start taking it and I get to a point with it that I have to take it every day, multiple times per day, or else you feel like shit, or else you feel sick, or else you feel depressed, or else you have diarrhea, or else you have cold chills, or else you have, a variety of other physical, mental, and emotional symptoms, right? That was my biggest thing, and I can understand people's argument like, don't do it. You haven't been off long enough. You haven't had a chance to really truly heal with your brain, this, that, and the other. And, I mean, as far as my brain goes, the biggest thing for me is just still having the cravings at times. The cravings to use Kratom again. As far as, I'm not really experiencing any depression, any low mood, low energy to speak of. Again, I preach this from the mountaintops. I do a lot of things right. All you guys see me doing is sitting here in this car talking to you every day. About my life and the ups and downs of, Kratom use and coming off and what it's been like for me and all those things. I do try to drop an edit for you guys every once in a while of me in the gym, working out, just trying to give you guys a little bit of piece of me outside of this car, doing these, 30-something minute videos every day, because this is what you see. You guys don't see all of the right things that I do outside of here, like eating fruits and vegetables, taking a vitamin every day, making sure I'm drinking 100+ ounces of water every day, making sure I'm going on jogs and physically challenging myself, and, spending time with my family when I'm at home. You guys don't see all that. This is what you see. So that could be an explanation as to why I feel pretty good at 24 days off. I'm not seeing a lot of or experiencing a lot of the pause, like the post-acute withdrawal syndrome that people talk about. And, of course, there's a mixed bag of everything. There's a lot of people out there that are probably thinking and have expressed, well, it's too early, just wait. Pause can last for 2 or 3 months. You can be good for a couple of months, and then all of a sudden it hits you like that. That's not what most people say. Most people say there's the acute withdrawals, and then immediately after the acute withdrawals have subsided, that's when the pause begins. I haven't really experienced that. It could be because I'm just a person with, in general, a positive mindset. I'm just a person that feels blessed in my life, and I kind of have an attitude of gratitude. I'm that person. I woke up today. I'm healthy. All of my family's healthy. My wife is healthy. My children are healthy. I have everything to be grateful for in life. And there are some things that I would like to change. There are some things that I wish were better or wish were different. But I'm the type of person that I don't sit and focus on those things. I try to maintain focus on the positive things in my life. And what that does is gives me more of a positive outlook. And let me tell you something about the law of attraction. Negativity breeds what? You got it. More negativity. Hate breeds more hate. But love and positivity breeds what? More love and positivity. You got it. So it's that basic law of attraction with the universe. You know, some people call it a relationship with God or being blessed by God. You know, if you're grateful to God for what he does give you or what he has given you, then he will tend to entrust you with more. Whereas if you're always just looking up like, damn, God, you know, why can't I have this? How come Billy Bob down the street's got this, but I don't? You know, how come Billy Bob owns his own house and I don't? How come Billy Bob drives a $40,000 car and I'm driving a little, you know, $7,000 used beater? You know, I mean, it's one of those things where it's about the law of attraction. Whether you call it God, whether you call it the manifestation of the universe giving back to you based on what your thought process is, whatever that is. You know, there's a serious component that comes with negative thinking. And if your thought processes are consistently negative, then guess what? The universe gives that back to you. You tend to attract more of that negativity, not just in people. Negative people attract negative people, but negative people can also attract negative consequences in their life. You know, whereas if you look at the glass as half full, and I know that's a cliche, but if you look at the glass as half full, then guess what? You will tend to attract positivity in your life, not only with the people that are put in your path, but the things that happen to you. Okay? And that includes anything negative that happens in your life. Turn it into a positive. Oh shit, something negative happened to me. Well, let me think for a second. Instead of sitting here whining and bitching and complaining about it, let me think about what this negative consequence can do for me in a positive light moving forward. How can I learn from this negative consequence? How can I take this negative consequence and turn it into a positive? How can I do that? That's the power of positive thinking. And maybe that's why I'm doing as well as I am. You know, I don't know. And I wouldn't say I'm doing great, you know, because I'm definitely having some, and I've talked about it on here, I'm definitely having the typical, like, you know, boredom at times. There's times where I'm kind of bored and I'm just like, damn, you know, I'm used to using something at this time, so I kind of want to use something. You know, and I'm definitely having some of the cravings. There are times, it's not horrible, but there are times where I'm just like, I start thinking about Kratom again. Like, oh, I know there's a head shop close by. I could run up and grab something real quick. Nobody would be the wiser because I don't have to go. But, you know, you guys know me. And I think by now you know that I ain't hiding shit. I ain't hiding shit on here. I'm not. You know, and if I use, you're absolutely going to know that I use. So, you know, my biggest thing about this weekend coming up, whether I decide to use or not, my biggest thing is I don't want to disappoint anybody on here. You know, because I know I've got almost 400 subscribers at this point, and a lot of people are watching. You know, and I don't know exactly why everyone has subscribed and what everyone's purpose is with subscribing. I don't know that. You know, and I can only know based on what your guys' comments are. I don't know a lot of you on a personal level, you know, so I guess a lot of it is I don't want to cause anyone else to fail or falter based on my actions and based on what I do or based on a moment of weakness from me, you know, because me, I feel like my biggest thing was I wanted to be away from being codependent on Kratom. I want to be able to take it occasionally, and then when I'm not taking it, not feel like shit and not be physically dependent upon it and sick and have withdrawals and stuff like that. I know I can do that. I know I can do that. And a lot of people think people who, you know, have an addict behavior, who exhibit an addict behavior in life, that they can't learn lessons, that they just are completely out of control and they have absolutely no discipline over that substance. Bruh, I'm not that way. I'm sorry. I'm not that way. I'm a very disciplined person. And if I say I'm never going back there again with Kratom to where I get physically addicted to Kratom, if I say that, then that's absolutely what's going to happen. And any time in my past where I've come off of something, which has only been maybe 3-4 times in my life, I know a lot of people out here have gone through, quitting and withdrawals and then relapses and stuff. There's people out there that are 10, 15, 20 years younger than I am who have gone through that 10, 15, 20, 25 times in their life. I've gone through it maybe 4, and I'm 47 years old. And withdrawal, that is. And that shouldn't tell you anything except I learned my freaking lesson. And the biggest thing for me is when I came off of something and then I went back on it. The biggest thing for me in this moment is getting completely off to the point where I'm not having any physical withdrawals anymore. If I can get there, then I know absolutely for a fact that I can take it every once in a while, whether it's once a week, whether it's once every couple of weeks, whether it's once a month, whatever. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to proceed with that yet, or even if I'm going to take it at all this weekend. I don't know. I literally am like on the fence, off the fence, on the fence, off the fence. And I was having those moments last night. I was lying in bed last night. Literally, it was stressing me out. And I'm sitting there thinking, because I see people's comments, I see what people are saying. Truth of the matter is, I can just do me. I know that. I can just do me. But I'm one of those people that is really serious about helping other people. And I know for a fact that there are people out there that are not disciplined enough and are not at a point in their life where they could stop taking Kratom and then go back and just take it a couple of times and then not take it again for another week, 2 weeks, and then stop taking it again and then go another 2 weeks and then only take it once or twice and then wait another month or another week or what. There are people out there that absolutely are not in the headspace to be able to do that. I completely concede to that. And so that's where it gets dicey for me. I can do it. I know I can do it. But I know there are people out there that aren't. And I don't want those people to see my videos and be, oh, look, he's doing it. He hasn't used it. Look, he's gone a whole month without using it, and he went to this UFC one weekend, used Kratom. He came back, and now he's not using it again. And then especially if I come back and you see me go another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, another month, whatever, and I don't use it, I don't want people out there to start cycling in their own brains. Well, if he did that, I can do it. If he did that, I can do it. Because here's the thing. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Maybe you can't. And people from that really strict abstinence recovery school of thought, their answer is always 1000%. Oh, you're justified. Oh, you want to use? Oh, you're justifying it. I hear you reasoning behind it, saying this, saying that. It's obvious your addict brain is attracting you back to it. And look, I mean, that's true. That's true. And even if I go use this weekend and then I wait another 2 weeks and then I don't use it and then I wait another 3 weeks, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I'm still addicted to the Kratom if I do that. But if in between those doses I'm feeling just fine, then I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And to me, that's not much different than a person who goes to work all day and then comes home and looks forward to having a couple of glasses of wine. And there's people that do it and are absolutely happy and completely functional in that regard. And I don't plan on going home every day and taking Kratom. My biggest thing is not to have it in my possession. If I don't have it in my possession at home, I won't take it. I'm good. And I'm kind of in that situation where the way I'm going to proceed with it is, if in the future I want to take some sort of Kratom product for some sort of special occasion, I'm buying enough Kratom to use for that occasion and for that moment, and then there will be absolutely none to come home with me. That way I don't continue taking it. So again, different schools of thought. There are people out there right now listening to my voice who are either in AA or NA who are just cringing at everything I'm saying. No, dude, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You know, but there are so many different types of people in the world. And I guess that's what it boils down to me. And you know what? Keep following me. Keep watching, you know, and maybe eventually you'll see a train wreck, you know. And I want to be clear about something. I was one of those people that I made the choice to come off of Kratom. Nobody tried to force me off of Kratom. I wasn't going broke. I wasn't being kicked out of my home. I didn't have a family intervention. Even my wife, nobody came to me and said, hey man, I think you need to really look at your Kratom use. This is becoming an issue. You know, nobody ever said that, because I was a functional user. You know, did everything I was supposed to do in life, you know, other than at times spending a little more money than I wanted to on it. That was probably my worst consequence. Second worst consequence was what I felt like when I started coming off of it, which is why I don't want to get back on that cycle of everyday use, multiple times per day, just consistent, regular use, because then you fall back into that, well, now I'm dependent upon it. And if I try to stop, then I feel like shit, can't go there again, won't go there again. So you'll just have to watch. You'll have to watch and see if I'm going to end up being a train wreck, if I'm going to end up proving all the naysayers wrong, or if I'm going to end up proving them right. And then 3 months from now, I'm back to where I started when I first started this channel, where I was taking Kratom every day. You'll just have to watch and see. You know, maybe I can be that experiment. And maybe I can be that train wreck that everybody can peek through just to see what's going to happen. Anyway, I had a lot of comments on my video yesterday, as I figured I would, and I wanted to read some of those. At JetUp24, he's the David Goggins guy. He says, I was off Kratom for 1 year, and I rationalized I would take it for 1 weekend with my family. That 1 weekend turned into 2 years of daily use. Be careful, bro. Stay hard. Thank you, man. I knew I was going to hear from you. He always ends it the same way. Stay hard. He's a big David Goggins guy. You're in good company, man. I'm big on Goggins as well. Hey, you know, that's a fair comment. That's a fair comment. Why is that a fair comment? Because when people comment on stuff like this, their comments are 1,000% of the time based on their own experiences, right? I mean, you heard his experience. He did the same thing. He was off of it for a whole year. He said to himself, you know, I'm going somewhere with my family 1 weekend. It would be nice to enjoy a little bit of Kratom when I go. Let me take some. He did that. And then he ended up using again daily for another 2 years. So obviously, this is a cautionary tale from his own book of past experiences, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You know, that's a legitimate lesson for people to listen to. That's a legitimate cautionary tale for people to say, well, yeah, it's a good point, you know. And that's where the whole it can be a slippery slope aspect of it comes in, you know. But I also think that depends on where you are in life, you know. I think that can depend on a lot of things, you know. And could that happen? Of course it could happen. Absolutely it could happen. We're talking about drug use here. We're talking about drug addiction. Absolutely it could happen. Will it happen? No, it's not going to happen to me. But it's a fair comment. It's a real comment. And I appreciate that transparency and that realness. And I was glad to hear him say something besides, don't give in to the temptation, stay hard. I was glad to see him elaborate a little bit, because I always kind of wondered, like, what's your backstory, dude? Because he would jump on and say, don't use, stay hard. He was very, like, to the point. And I'm like, damn, is this guy, like, you know, is this like David Goggins himself jumping up on my channel? Like, no, he's a real guy. And he has learned from his own experiences, you know, that it can be a slippery slope and you got to be careful, you know, and be aware of the triggers, and, you know, make sure that you don't let that be a doorway back into using it every day, you know. The next comment at Johnny Just Right 4253. I like that name, by the way. Bro, your videos are awesome. You're definitely helping me. I'm currently tapering down using capsules and it's going okay. Can't believe I got this deep into Kratom. LOL. Thanks, man. Johnny, that's amazing, bro. I'm so glad to hear that. Keep doing that. Don't let up. Stay on the capsules until you get completely off. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are completely looking to come off altogether, completely come off of Kratom. And then there's people out there that, you know, maybe just kind of want to get themselves, you know, completely reset their tolerance to where, you know, when you take it now, if you only take it once every few weeks or so, you get a really, really strong effect of it. You get that little buzz. It's almost like a little life hack for you. But then you can put it back down and, you know, you don't have any interdose withdrawals and you don't feel like shit and all that, you know. And I think there is a sweet spot for something like that. The real issue and the real thought process surrounding this is whether a person who supposedly is an addict can actually control that and can actually exert that control over that substance. That's where the real question is, and that's what we're going to have to find out, you know. At California Cardsmith, keep giving it time. The boredom will go away, because I was talking about boredom yesterday and how that was a trigger. I was on subs for 8 years. Took a while, but eventually the boredom went away. You can appreciate the simple things more, and true happiness will occur over time, replacing just feeling good with healthy habits like exercise. I know you already do, but really challenge yourself. Gratitude and meditation have been key for me. That's a great comment, man. I really appreciate that. Really, really good comment. I definitely like the piece about challenging yourself, and also the gratitude and meditation. I was just talking about a couple of minutes ago, having an attitude of gratitude. I cannot, in any way, shape, or form, oversell how important having an attitude... 27 minutes. Okay, I'm good. Having an attitude of gratitude is. That is absolutely important, because if you do that and you're thankful for the things you do have, and you're not pinpoint focused on things that you don't have in life, then the law of attractions says that you will attract more positive things, okay, in your life. And I mean, that's what you want to do. So that's really, really good. He was saying appreciate the simple things, and true happiness, and the boredom gets better. Yeah, and it does get better. You know, I went home last night, and of course I didn't do absolutely anything. I didn't have a drink. I didn't smoke anything. I didn't take anything. And I sat on the couch and I held my son, my little 3-month-old, and I, you know, threw him up in the air a little bit. I got him to smile with me. I talked to him, actually read him a book, and that was enjoyable. That was enjoyable. I mean, I had a couple of fleeting thoughts where I was like, well, this would be really cool if I were on Kratom right now. I mean, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that for a little while, and I get that. But hey, I mean, the best you can do, you know, it's not a magic. It's not some form of magic where you can just snap your fingers and you can shut off all those addict thoughts that you have, you know. But there are things that you can do and ways that you can control that. And a lot of it's just going into autopilot mode and just, you know, just shutting it down and not taking it. So anyway, at Chuck B 2533 said, what's up, man? Congrats on your 23 days. After doing Kratom for 6 years, I have accepted the fact that I want Kratom as part of my life. However, I'm not a daily user anymore, and I haven't been dependent on it for 3 years. However, I still consider myself addicted because I need it in my life. I use it mostly 1 or 2 times per week. Every now and then I might go a week. I have even gone 2 weeks, but still not every day. maybe every other day or a string of days, but I always pull myself back because I know I don't want to go through that horrible withdrawal again. Been there and done that 4 times, and the lethargy was a killer last time. Just celebrated 3 years of never doing that shit again. LOL. If you can use 1 or 2 times a week, that's the sweet spot. And most times you won't want to use because the weight makes it feel so worth it. Good luck in whatever you do. Yeah, that guy's strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words. No, I mean, true. You know, that's kind of the way I feel. And again, certain schools of thought completely don't agree with that. I understand that. But, you know, I never said I was coming on here to teach NA or AA or complete abstinence classes. And I had a guy say to me who's a very nice guy who's actually a part of NA and AA, and he's been sober for a while, 11 years, he said, which I think is amazing. But he actually left a comment the other day. He said he felt like I was confusing one thing about AA and NA. He said, just because you have a couple of drinks on the weekend doesn't necessarily mean you're going to start drinking like an alcoholic. But what it does is it increases your risk of when you're drinking like that, it will increase your risk of going back to Kratom or other opiates, which for me, just FYI, other opiates is not an option. I haven't done other opiates, as you say. I haven't done other opiates in 10 years or more. That's just not something I'll ever do again. I mean, unless I'm in a situation where I have to have it for some sort of major physical pain or something like that, which at this time I don't have any of that. So it's always just been Kratom for me. But actually I did know that. I did know that that was the reason that NA and AA encourages the complete and total abstinence, because they believe there's an allergy. You have an aversion and an allergy to mind-altering substances, and that if you take it, it's only a matter of time before it leads you down another rabbit hole. You know, and that's where my belief, that's where my set of beliefs is a little bit different than like an NA and an AA. But hey, fair enough. You know, that's a fair enough comment, and I think one that for a lot of people is necessary for them to live that way. And I've said before, I've met people in my life where, yeah, bro, you need to go get professional help. You need to go to NA. You need to go to AA, because your life is just completely just swirling down the toilet. You're like almost down the hole. You're like that turd that started out up here and now you're going about to go down the hole. That's you. Your life's spiraling out of control, right? Watch out for the turd demo. Anyway, at Real is Rare says, whatever you do, hope you have a blast of a time, man. I appreciate you. You're on your way to knocking things down too, I understand. I'm proud of you, bro. He's been with me from the beginning, man. He's one of the first guys that subscribed to my channel. James H 3527 said, think you'll be just fine taking it for a special occasion as long as you put it back down when you get home. I have about 2 months clean and almost partook. Had a brief thought of getting some. Birthday party with everyone drinking and having fun really made me miss the little boost it gave me. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Again, you get people that say, nah, man, don't do it. Don't do it. It's a slippery slope. And then you get people who are like, hey, you know, if you're one of those people that can remain disciplined enough to just do it from time to time, go ahead. And at California Carsmith left a second comment. He says, liked and a subscriber. Watched most of your videos the past 2 or 3 weeks. I'm also a big David Goggins fan. Read his book cover to cover 3 times. I'd say don't take it this time. If you still feel the same way and want to in another 30 days, then do it. But I think you're rationalizing, saying, oh, it's legal, I can control it, etc. You know that you will feel better taking it for a day, but know that after that you will most likely regret it. So yeah, thank you for the comment, bro. So when I say it's legal, just try to understand that I'm not saying Well, it's legal, so I'm going to take it. What I'm saying is, if it does get outlawed in my state one day, I'm not going to be physically dependent upon it. So it won't be that big of a deal. But my whole thing is, I think our situation with Kratom, where we're at, is an interesting time. I think we're right around the corner from, and I don't know how long right around the corner is, but I think we're right around the corner from there being some stipulations and some regulations put on Kratom, if not completely outlawed altogether. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to get myself to where I was not physically dependent upon that shit anymore. Because if the gavel falls, next month, and all of a sudden the FDA comes in and starts ripping all the Kratom out of these stores and like they did Spice back in the day, then I don't want to be one of those people that's got 2, 3, 4 weeks of withdrawals ahead of me when that happens. I don't want that. And that's one of the reasons that I've done what I've done with Kratom, with coming off of it. Jason Frere says, do you? I have no doubt you'll definitely... Oh, I'm sorry. I have no doubt you identify that it's something that might begin to be a problem again, and we'll kick it. I'm at 2 grams per day, so maybe when you're back, we'll both be at 0 days. Yeah, if I end up taking it, that might be the case. Hey, thank you for that. As you guys can see, you get kind of a mixed bag on here. There's people that say, it's too early, you probably shouldn't take it. And then there's other people like, hey man, if you're a person that's disciplined enough, who can just do it from time to time and not get back on the kick of doing it every day, all the time, go ahead, give it a shot. I don't see what it's going to hurt. The only way to tell is to do it.